Alright guys, this is Tacho here, and we're going to be doing another manga discussion on Hunter x Hunter. This time we're going to be covering this week's chapter, which is chapter 368. So there's going to be spoilers in this video if you haven't read the chapter yet for yourself. So definitely go ahead and check the chapter out before you watch the video, because it was a really good chapter this week. I enjoyed it a ton. I know last week we had a break, Shonen Jump was on break, so we didn't get a chapter. But this week, they made up for it with a really nice chapter, so let's get started here. The first thing we're going to talk about is Queen Oito and her use of the dolphin on the cockroach. So as we saw in the previous chapter, 367, Queen Oito was able to use the dolphin on a cockroach, and she now has full control of that cockroach, and she sent it through one of the ventilation shafts to conduct some surveillance on the other princes and gather information about them. So the cockroach has finished surveillance of one prince so far, which is Prince Mariam. Surprisingly, his name sounds like Meruem. I don't know if there's any kind of connection there. But Prince Mariam's room has been completely surveillanced, and Queen Oito has found out how many bodyguards he has, what his Nenbeast looks like, and all sorts of important information that's going to help them out later on. So that's good news there, but the bad thing is that it took her over an hour to complete surveillance of this one room, and all of that is adding up on Kurapika's Emperor time now, because he needs to keep staying in Emperor time the whole while, and it's really adding up now, because if you look at Kurapika in that very first page, he looks like he hasn't slept in a year, man. He's got bags under his eyes, he looks like he's about to pass out, and it's really taking its toll on him. Not just the fact that it's going to shave off time from his life. The actual physical strain of having to stay in Emperor time for such a long amount is really taking its toll on him like poison. So Kurapika is in big trouble, and I don't know if he's actually going to make it through this boat ride alive. It's being really hinted at that he's messing himself up with this use of Emperor time here. But anyway, continuing on with the surveillance, Queen Oito moves on to the next prince, Prince Momosa, who is actually a female, so I don't know why they don't just call her Princess Momosa. But as the cockroach goes through the vent and sees the next prince's room, we find out that the prince is being strangled to death, and as Queen Oito sees this, she actually starts freaking out, and she's like, oh my god, we gotta go save her. She's getting strangled to death, let's go, let's go. And she starts going frantic like, and she's having a breakdown, and Kurapika's trying to tell her, okay, calm down, we're gonna go check it out in a second. And Queen Oito's like, no, we can't waste time on your petty strategies and all this nonsense about the survival wars. Someone is getting strangled to death, and we have to go save them right now. So Kurapika's like, alright, let's go. So everyone leaves the room, and they head over to Prince Momosa's room. And it turns out that they're a little too late, and Prince Momosa has been strangled to death. So she became the first victim of the Prince War here. And Queen Oito is taking it really hard, actually. She's blaming herself for the death of this prince, and I can kind of see why. She's a mother herself. She's trying to look out for her own child, Prince Wobble, and seeing the death of another child like that really resonates harder with a mother. The thing is, the connection between a mother and child is like the strongest connection in the world, and for a mother to witness a child dying, it just really hurts more than anything else. Even if it's not their own child, it reminds them of what could happen to their own child. So Queen Oito is really taking it hard, and she calls out Kurapika and Bobbie on this. I'm gonna call this dude Bobbie, the army looking dude with the crew cut. His actual name is Bobbie Mina, but that's a dumbass name, so I'm gonna call him Bobbie for short. So Queen Oito calls out both Kurapika and Bobbie on how heartless they're acting, and they're only caring about strategies and survival in the Prince War and all that, and they don't care about other people dying. And this is where Hunter x Hunter really shines, because we get to see that these characters actually have emotions like real humans, and they're very well fleshed out. They don't just care about survival and war and all that type of like manga stuff that doesn't really happen in real life. Seeing people die and seeing death actually resonates with them, and it hurts. It's just like in real life. If you see somebody die, it's like, damn, that's messed up. So it shows that Togashi's really good at writing characters and making them realistic. Because right after Queen Oito calls out Bobbie and Kurapika on this, Bobbie actually turns off his N and he's like, alright, I'm gonna cool it now. Someone just died. This is not the time to be acting like a fool and trying to conduct surveillance on these people. I'm just gonna leave right here. So that was really cool, and that gave me a little bit more respect for Bobbie there, just to see that he's more human and he's not really a monster. So that's it for that. And as soon as Bobbie leaves, it turns out that Kurapika has been in Emperor time for a little too long, and the guy actually passes out right on the floor. I'm gonna be dead ass right now, guys. I don't know if Kurapika is gonna survive this boat ride, because already he just passed out from using Emperor time too long, and it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to turn it off anytime soon, because they still have to conduct reconnaissance on all the other princes' rooms, and they've only managed to do one prince so far. And of course, Momosa died just now, so they don't need to worry about her. But there's still like 10 or 11 princes to go, and it takes an hour per room. That's not going to be easy, man. I don't know if Kurapika is going to be able to take the strain too long. So that's it for that. And then we finally cut to Hanzo and Bisque now. So they're in one of the other rooms. They're having a bit of a chat, and Hanzo is really damn upset about the death of Prince Momosa. He's like, okay, if I was there, I definitely could have saved her. I feel really guilty about the whole thing. And he's tight. He looks pissed off, like he's about to go off on the handle. And Bisque's there trying to calm him down. She's like, all right, there's nothing you could have done. Let it go. Like freaking Frozen. But nah. And Hanzo, he starts telling Bisque what he thinks happened, and that he believes the killer was using a clone to actually sneak into the room and kill the prince while the bodyguards were away. And he tells Bisque that whoever it was that killed the prince is not the only one that can use clones, because he's a ninja and he can use clones as well. So that's a new thing we've learned about Hanzo. He has an ability that can let him make clones. So that's pretty cool there. And it looks like Hanzo is going to make it his mission to take down whoever the killer is, because he believes that whoever this killer is, they are going to strike again, because they can make clones, and whenever they try to strike again, he's going to be there and he's going to stop them personally. So that's pretty cool development for Hanzo. I really enjoyed his chat with Bisque there. And now we go back to Prince Seried, the fourth prince, and he's continuing his Nen training with his bodyguard. I think her name is Theta, something like that. Theta. That's how it's spelled, Theta. I assume that's how it's pronounced. So Seried is continuing his Nen training, and it's been only like a few days, and he's already learned how to use Gyo. And if you remember, Gon and Killua did not learn how to use Gyo the first time they learned Nen in Heaven's Arena. They had to learn Nen during the Greed Island arc with Bisque. And that just goes to show how quickly Prince Seried is advancing in his Nen training. And it's kind of scary how fast this guy is picking up on Nen. So he's really dangerous, and he's just going to be a massive threat once he develops his own Hatsu. And right now he's on to Theta because he thinks she's lying to him about how fast he can learn Nen. Because he heard the announcement over the loudspeaker that Kurapika made that he can teach people how to use Nen in as quickly as 2 weeks. And of course, Seried was told by Theta that it would take him, even if he was a genius, at least half a year to learn how to use Nen. So now he's really pissed, and he thinks that Theta is lying to him. So he threatened her. He's like, okay, bitch, I'm gonna kill you if you're telling me lies. And Theta, she's like scared for her life. She's like, okay, there's definitely something going on. If that person said he can teach you Nen in 2 weeks, then he's got to be using an ability to speed it up, or some kind of unnatural process to learn Nen faster. And she's swearing on her life that the method that she's using to teach Seried is the fastest, safest method, but Seried is not going to fall for that. And I think that Seried is actually going to be one of the people to take on Kurapika's lessons and start learning how to use Nen. So won't that be something, having Kurapika teach one of his worst enemies how to use Nen without realizing just how evil the guy actually is. So I think that's going to be pretty cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to the upcoming chapters of Hunter x Hunter. Hopefully Togashi can keep going strong and keep writing some more chapters for us. So that's it for the video, guys. I really enjoyed this chapter, and go ahead and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter and which parts you liked the most and all of that good stuff. So yeah, this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion, and as always, cheers. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again next time.